This is my first ever podcast, but it's going to be an important one because I'm going to be defining my definition of success by defining my criteria for success. It's also going to be used as sort of a time capsule for myself. As I get older in life, I'm going to look back at this video and see, what I thought as a 17-year-old kid, going through their senior year. And so, yeah, without further ado, let's get into it. Right off the bat, everybody's definition of success is going to be a little bit different. But for the most part, I feel like you guys will be able to relate to most of my criteria. So, uh, criteria number one, providing for others. So, um, I'm Mexican. I come from an immigrant family, and I have a lot of family. And I was raised by a lot of people, right? So, without them, I wouldn't be the person I am today. I've learned a lot of things from a lot of different people because my family is so big, and so because of that, I want to provide for them. And I think that's always going to be a life goal for me as I get older, as I get more successful, or I should say, as I gain more financial wealth, where I'm gonna be able to support them a lot more, and I'm gonna be able to provide for them a lot more. So, yeah, it's always gonna be a goal for me. But I have to make sure that I don't get caught up in that lifestyle, and live for myself as well as I live for others. And that goes hand in hand with my second criteria, which is live for your happiness, right? You want to provide for others. You want to, I think providing for others does make you a good person because, ultimately that's what humans do, right? Um, we're a tribal animal, right? We stick together, we help each other out. So I think providing for others is always gonna be important, but in this day and age, it's a lot. It can be a lot. Go have some fun, bro. Go be happy. Go find some hobbies. I'd like to do a lot of physical activities. Video games, music. And a lot of other. I want to go travel. I want to go to a lot of places. And so yeah, living for your happiness is gonna be important. But you also have to make sure, like the first criteria, check yourself. Make sure that you are having you are happy, right? You're living for your happiness, but you want to make sure that it doesn't lead you anywhere bad. Like take for example a gambling addict. They chase that happiness. They chase that gambling high, as they say, and it takes them to bad places, right? All of a sudden you're in Las Vegas and you lost all your money. So yeah, it's just one example. But yeah, live for your happiness, provide for others, but check. Keep both of them in check. I think that's why I think they're one and two, because you want to live for yourself and you want to live for others, but you want them to check each other pretty much. I don't know why I did that hand motion, but you get what I'm trying to say. Let's get into my third criteria now, striving for growth. So, as a young kid, or like, I guess I should say like my whole scholar career, I think that's what you would say. As long as I've been in school, I've done pretty good, but there's always been room for improvement. I think only recently have I been really trying to improve as much as I can, and it's one of my biggest regrets. I wish I tried a little bit harder in school, because I probably would be, a lot better off right now. But it is what it is. What I can take from that is, to appreciate, what I have. I can continuously grow, right? As humans, we can always learn something. That's why we're the dominant species on the planet, right? Because we're able to adapt to environments, we're able to learn from our mistakes, and I think that's the key to growth, right? Learning from your past experiences, and growth isn't always going to be physical, right? It's going to be emotional. It's going to be mental, right? Mentally, you're going to want to grow as a person. You want to get smarter. You want to be a better person overall, right? So striving for growth is always going to be important for me. My fourth criteria, which goes hand in hand with striving for growth, being open-minded. So, like I said, growth isn't always going to be physical. It's going to be emotionally. It's going to be emotional. It's going to be mental. And in order to do that sort of thing, in order to grow in those aspects, you need to be open-minded. I feel like I'm fairly open-minded, or I think very open-minded. I think you could come up to me about any topic, and we can have a conversation. Um, but I'm always gonna try to be, I don't know, a little bit more welcoming. I think is the right word or the right phrase, the right way to put it. Um, so yeah, always gonna try to be a little bit more open minded. So yeah. Let's see, number five. So number five and number three are somewhat similar now that I look at it, but strive for physical health and top performance, right? For the most part, I think I've always been an athlete, and being healthy is always going to be important to me. If a lot of people don't want to live this long, but if I can live into like my hundreds, or if I can live until like I'm 300, man, I'm going to be 300 living it up. I'm always going to want to be healthy, and performance is always going to be important for me too. Being an athlete, I want to always be able to perform at my best. So yeah, always gonna be important for me. And I think it should be important for a lot of people too. Yeah, let's get into my sixth criteria, which is be kind to others. So this one, and being open minded, pretty similar, right? In order to be kind, you need to have an open mind. A person like me, I like to think I'm an introvert, right? And a lot of that has to do with I don't like to say that I get annoyed a lot, but a lot of things annoy me, right? But I always try to be as nice as possible whenever approaching anybody, or whenever talking to anybody, or regardless of the situation. I always try to be as nice as possible, as long as the people are being nice to me, right? Because, people want to be mean, I can be mean too. But for the most part, I like to be nice. Nice to me is pretty fun. So I like to keep it like that. And yeah, I'm always gonna try to be like that. So definitely an important criteria for my success, right? I want, regardless of where I'm at in life, I always want to be a good person. I always want to be kind to others. So yeah, let's get into my last criteria. It's the last, but it's definitely not the least important. If anything, it's one of the more important ones for me. Even though these are all, equally important, I like to think. But yeah, plan for the future and remember the past. So, 17 years on this earth, I've lived a lot, experienced a lot. Not all of it was good, but what was good from those experiences was I learned a lot, right? I took the good from the bad, and I was able to go on in life, a little bit better. So, yeah, it's always going to be important for me, especially now as a 17-year-old, going on into my adult life. I'm about to be 18 in a couple months. I'm going to start applying for colleges soon. So, planning for the future is going to be very important, right? I need to remember what I'm working for, remembering my past, all I've been through, and, put that to my focus and my dedication into my future, whatever I want to do, regardless of what I end up doing, I want to be passionate about it. I want to be proud about it, And yeah, so we'll see how we do, or we'll see how I do, in regards to planning for the future. This has been my criteria for success. I like to think a lot of you guys will relate to this, and if you don't know me like that well, I think this will help you, kind of break that little barrier with me. Once you see this, I don't know. Hopefully, think that I don't know. I'm cool or something. I don't know. Yeah, this has been my podcast. And this is my boy Reginald. He's a humpback whale. He's super cool. He doesn't talk much, but he's my guy. Great company. Thank you for watching my podcast.